Hi, my name is Afton Porter and I live in Gilbert, Arizona, but my heart is in Seattle. That's where I was raised. And we're going to talk a little bit about chicken stock today and how easy it is to make it at home and why you would even want to bother. So I first wanted to chat about most of the chicken broth or stock. Hi, Katie. That you can purchase at the grocery store has a bunch of yucky additives in it, and it's really hard to find a good quality store-bought chicken broth, but you can find it. You just have to do a little bit of homework to make sure that you find one that doesn't have any MSG in it. So I use chicken stock for the bases of all my soups, which we like to make a lot in the winter because it's so great for our gut health, and it just helps us feel better and has a lot of great nutrients that we're going to talk about in a minute. But the store-bought, or especially the bouillon, won't have a lot of this stuff. So when you make your chicken stock at home, it's going to have some really great gelatin in there, and that you will be missing from the store-bought. But I understand that there's a lot of people who are busy and they're working, and that's the best that they can provide. And so I want to give you some tools to make sure that you're purchasing the best quality broth that you can make for your family to be well this winter. So one of the things that I want you to look for is MSG. And there's a lot of reasons why you want to not partake of this food additive, but here are just a few of the things that MSG can wreak havoc on your health. So it's an endocrine disruptor. It's a known carcinogen. It can kill brain cells. It can cause cardiac issues. Kidney and neurological disorders are linked to MSG, as well as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Lou Gehrig's disease. So there's lots of reasons why we do not want to be taking in MSG. I will be linking a link to a site that will take you where all the different names. So companies have learned that people don't want to ingest that. And so they've made it really hard, and they like to sneak it into our foods. So there's lots and lots of names that MSG falls under. So I want to make sure that you have that list. So when you're going home or when you're going to the store, you'll be aware, and you'll have that list so that you can check for a good quality one. I bought an organic bone broth from a pretty good quality store usually, and I noticed it even had sugar in it. It's like, why are we putting sugar in bone broth? We don't need to do that, and I certainly won't be doing that today. So I'm going to be making some bone broth here in a minute. So here are some reasons why you want to add bone broth to your diet. First of all, and this is from Medical News Today, and it's highly nutritious. And the best types of bones to use are ones that have cartilage in it, like joints. Bone marrow is the best. It has the most nutrition in it. And you're going to find when you make it at home, it's not going to be consistent. It's going to be a little bit different, and that's okay. But a lot of the broths will have iron, vitamin A and K, fatty acids, selenium, zinc, and manganese. And it also has calcium, potassium, and magnesium, which are all really great that our bodies need. It also may help to protect our joints with the glutamate that's in there. We also can help us fight osteoarthritis. It helps with inflammation in the gut. So if you have any type of gut issues, you want to be making homemade broth. And we were on the GAPS diet for 1.5 years where we were ingesting bone broth 3 times a day, and it's really great for your skin, guys. It's really great. Let's see. Also, it's great. It also may help with sleep and weight loss. And I know that bone broth is a great meat extender. So if you're buying organic meat and you want that to last a little bit longer, we always make a soup base. And when you make soup with the bone broth, you don't have to add as much meat to it for it to be filling, and you can make more meals out of one chicken breast, or whole chicken. And that's what we'll be using today. I'll be making some chicken broth from a whole chicken. So, all right, I think that's it. If you have any questions about any of that, go ahead and comment, and I will go back and answer those. So what I'm going to add to my chicken broth is I have a whole chicken in here in a well-loved pot, but there's been washed and put in there. Then, I don't know if you can see, maybe you can't. I normally add celery, but I noticed right before I did this I didn't have any. And I washed these carrots. I don't bother peeling them, but if you feel more comfortable with that, you can, and you just kind of put them in your stock pot. I have 2 garlic cloves I'm going to put in there. I have some bay leaves, and mine are kind of old because I bought a big thing and they last a long time. Normally you'd put 2, I put a little bit more than that. You'll want to add about a tablespoon of whole peppercorns. And I add a splash of apple cider vinegar because it helps pull out all those minerals that are inside those bones so that our bodies can use those. And actually, the magnesium and phosphorus and calcium that is in the bone broth, that is super easy for our bodies to digest. So if you're taking any of those as a supplement, it's a great way to get it that way, because your body absorbs it really easily and is able to utilize that. So I'm adding a large onion from Costco, and I just quarter them and put it in there. And I would add the celery at that time, and that is pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with filtered water. Well, I live in Arizona. The water here is nasty. You don't want to cook with it. But I'll fill it. You want to make sure you cover your whole chicken, and then you want it to simmer. And you don't want it to boil. You just want it to simmer, where you just kind of see like little popping of bubbles coming up, and it'll just be like once every 15-20 seconds is fine, but just as long as you're seeing these bubbles coming up. And you're going to want to do that for I'll cook this chicken all day today, and then all night tomorrow, and then sometime, or all night, day and night, and sometime tomorrow I'll take it off, and we just use a strainer and pick out all the big pieces and then strain the broth out, and then we use that as a base, and I pick off the chicken, and we'll use that for 3 or 4 meals. So I can justify paying a little bit more for an organic chicken when I know that I'm going to be able to make several different recipes to feed my family of 6. And a lot of the store-bought, or all of the store-bought broth and stocks are not cooked long enough to get all that gelatin out, and that gelatin is actually what makes your skin look a lot better. And well, when you're over 40, when you're younger, you don't need it as much, but the gelatin and all those minerals and trace minerals that are in there are so good for your body. So just do your research. If you need to buy store-bought, don't feel guilty about it. That's fine. Just make sure you do your research and buy a high-quality store-bought stock. But seriously, how long did this take me to put all these in? I'll put it on the stove, and I will seriously not have to think about it. I might turn it off at night before I go to bed, and then just leave it there and turn it right back on first thing in the morning. But usually I just leave it on. But I don't want anyone to have a fire because of it. But let's see. All right, well, you're so welcome. How do you store the broth? Okay, so usually we eat it within a few days. And if I'm making, like when we raise our own beef, and so when we get the bones, we'll actually make the bean broth, beef broth you make a little bit differently, but it's the same idea, and then we actually home can it. But you can freeze it. I mean, that would probably be better than canning, but we usually, if we're making a large amount, we're gonna be home canning it, and it's super easy to do. All right, thanks so much. Bye-bye.